how should someone go about choosing a broker? What's for someone that doesn't know or maybe doesn't have a contact? What should they be looking for? What questions should they ask? How should they tackle it?
I mean, a good broker should be going straight into understanding you, like a financial planner would really. It's not just trying to win you as a customer. It's sort of asking you questions. I mean, it's just literally a client jumped off the call there. He was going to buy an unrenovated place in the inner west, and they were very nervous about taking on a big mortgage, right? And I was like, well, if you're nervous at taking on this mortgage, this place needs a $1 to $1.5 million build on it, right? And so, I only know that through asking them lots of questions, right? So a good broker will ask you a lot of questions up front, get to know your situations, sort of playing devil's advocate with you, and then we'll say, right, okay, this is the best recommendation for you. When you walk into a broker and they start sort of pushing a fixed rate down you, or try to start selling you on a product, right, and how the features of it, it's all nonsense, because every bank's got pretty much the same product. And yeah, someone's going to give you a better rate, but that's going to change tomorrow, and that's going to change tomorrow. And so if a broker's doing that, absolutely, just keep shopping and get a broker that's really going to be strategic. Unfortunately, though, it does matter. You do need to be doing quite a lot of volume of loans to have relationships with banks, to be getting better service, to be across the market, and unfortunately most brokers aren't doing that volume. And so, that's why I definitely would pick a broker that's doing quite a lot, because they can kind of work the magic a little bit better, especially when things hit the fan, things need to be turned around fast. The brokers that are doing a bigger volume can get favors, can actually make it happen, because they know they've been through this before and they know how to make it to fix your problems. And so I'd also select someone super experienced that's sort of doing a lot.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that, I suppose it's like everything, that you build relationships with your key contacts. And if you're a one-man mortgage broker or one-woman mortgage broker, and you're doing it as a sort of a bit of a part-time gig or something like that, that you might not be as good as the mortgage broker is not that good a customer of a bank. And it's certainly difficult. The less you do, the fewer banks you're able to be a great customer to. So I think what you sort of touched on there, but many people probably don't realize, is that if you go to a place that does a lot of loans, then you can be a good customer for a lot of different banks. And therefore, when something goes wrong, or you want sharper pricing, or there's someone's forgot about, changing their Telstra bill when they moved interstate 5 years ago, and they end up with a little nick on their credit record or something that you don't find out about till the 11th hour, that's when those relationships can come into play and get them there. So what should people be asking? Is it simply a question of what's the volume of loans you write? Or I suppose it's a tricky.
I mean, it's no real way to sort of really easily sort of explain that. I mean, there's like MPA, which is all sort of verified, which is sort of a list of the top 100 brokers. And we came 9th on that last year, and we'll probably be similar this year, if not higher. But, that's a good starting point, to be honest, because at least these brokers on there that are actually writing quite a lot of loans. And it does matter because, you need to be across all your different banks, et cetera. And it's not to say a broker that's not writing many loans can't do that, but you do need a bit of a team. I mean, we've got 8 staff, so it's like we've got a whole team to be managing things, chasing banks, chasing solicitors. If something hits the fan, someone can deal with it rather than a new client's walked in, et cetera. So, it's hard to know what to say is to get a good broker, but ultimately it's someone who really cares about you making a good decision. Any broker that's trying to sell you a property as well, an actual property, like relation to a developer, or you should buy this investment, run for the hills as well. Ultimately, it's the brokers that are just trying to make money on your loan and provide you really good customer service and get you a good deal, and help you make a good decision, rather than try to sell you an off the plan or something like that, which is quite prolific, unfortunately, in the broking world.